Okay, boys and girls, so once you have your 5 rectangles, you're going to design buildings by creating windows for them. And each building should have a different pattern of windows. And as you can see, you should hold your paper nice and firmly so it doesn't bend like that. Each building should have a different pattern of windows. So here I'm going to have rows of 4 little windows, and depending on the size and shape of your building and what kind of design you're going to do for your building, each one will have windows, just like how if you've ever been to New York City before, you're going to make a pattern by creating different rows and sizes of rectangles. And we're just, if you want to make a door, you could do a door. I'm just going to have windows because I'm going to like pretend that we're looking at the city from kind of like the middle of the building up. But if you do want to do a door, you can do a door. So you can also do patterns inside your windows. And you want to try to be consistent, by the way, with the way that you do your windows. That each window is going to be almost the same size and almost the same shape. You could do rectangles, you can do squares if you want, you can even do triangles, but I'm going to just stick with rectangles right now because I just want you to see that you can make so many different patterns just by doing rectangles. And I'm doing this in Sharpie. You're going to be doing this in pencil first, and then you're going to outline. I'm just showing this to you in Sharpie so that you can see it better for the demonstration. So first you're going to do yours in pencil, and then you're going to be doing it in Sharpie. One of the things that I like to do is look at reference ideas. Basically, you are designing a building like an architect. You want to figure out how wide your building is, how many rectangles will work well, how many windows would be good for each floor. Is your building where people live? Are they residential buildings, or are they commercial buildings where there are offices, or is it a school? So it's going to help you figure out what is your building going to be like. How is it going to be designed? Who is it for? So if you're in school, you definitely want to have a lot of buildings. Same with an office or a apartment. When you have a lot of windows, there's a lot of light. So each building should be different with the amount of windows and the amount of rows. Rows are what goes across. So this yellow building has, the rows have 2 windows in each. And I'm going to make this purple building kind of like really have them be really big windows. And I'm actually just going to focus on, as you can see, I'm focusing on the windows themselves first, and then doing the details of the windows after. And also you might see that I'm leaning on the paper to make sure that my lines are as straight as possible. And I'm not concerned that they're perfectly straight, but you want them to be as straight as possible without using a ruler. And then later on, you could add the details to your windows. So I have a big windows, I have medium, I have single, I have rows of 3. And I think now I'll go back to, maybe I'll do some squares in this building. Well, that one doesn't look like a square. So what I'll do is I'll do squares and rectangles. You definitely want to make sure that you hold your paper straight. And eventually, you can, once you're done with the windows, arrange on the page how you're going to want to place them. But we'll get into that next week. And you want to make sure that your patterns, we're basically making patterns of shapes, repeat themselves all the way down to the bottom. And I think just to have some variety here, like maybe what I'll do is I'll switch this out and put it here. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put some horizontal lines inside these windows just to add some variety. And you definitely want to make sure that you're leaning your hand on the paper to keep it still, to keep your hand still. And you also want to make sure that you're holding the paper down with the hand that you're not using so it doesn't move. Again, you're going to be doing this in pencil first and then tracing everything with Sharpie afterwards. And this is being the architect of your buildings. Okay.